I will share my screen. So what I prepared today is some slides that will introduce you on the challenges we faced in the last years when we started to scale VR with our clients. I will then go over to Unity and actually hands-on show you how our products help you to do so and how you can use our products. So it's also some kind of an interactive manual today, but I will also explain you a lot about the concepts that you can make use of when scaling VR training applications within your business or your company or your agency for your clients. And during the demo, I'm very happy to get your input and have some feedback from your side. So feel free to ask questions either in the chat or open your mic and ask directly. I will try to answer them immediately, and if the answer will not fit in our schedule or I just can't answer it, it's also the case. We will follow up on that, of course. So what I love is like interactivity. If there's something coming up, any idea that you have or any question that you have, please be active and let me know. Okay. So today I want to talk to you about the next 10 to 15 minutes about how to standardize and scale your VR training app creation. So this is basically the question we have today. And I would like to start with introducing myself. My name is Christian May. I'm a solution engineer at Innoactive. So I'm customer facing in all regards to technical implementations, to questions about how do you actually scale VR into your company, how do you integrate our products into your processes. So if there's any question regarding that, please reach out. I also have an academical background, so this is more like a personal commercial. So if you're interested into my research on virtual reality, feel free to visit my webpage. But this company Innoactive is not about me. It's about the people that make such a small company big. And we started as an agency like 8 years ago now, and at some point we realized, okay, we now built hundreds of applications, but it doesn't really scale. So it's like a lot of manual work and a lot of hard business, but we saw this drive in industry and we wanted to help this out. So to give you a brief overview today, so a glimpse forward to what we will end up with today, we now have two products. The one is the Innoactive Creator that helps you to create training applications in a standardized and scalable manner, and it's the Innoactive Portal. The Innoactive Portal helps you to distribute your VR training applications that you've built securely and very easy. So you can see there's some kind of progress that most of our clients go through. They will start with the creator, build the application, then they will see, okay, how do we get it to our clients, to our internal, external clients? Then they use the portal. But why? Why is it important to have these tools? So we have some kind of scalability stories, we call it, with our clients that serve as an example. The one is Lindy. They want to train their employees on oil rigs, oil platforms, gas and gas facilities, and they want to have 100% blend availability, and they want to reach it with VR. So they use our tools to reach out to these people that can be far away, that have to train in really, really dangerous environments. Are situations that you can't practice in reality because they're threatening to your life and health. So they train in VR, and they use our tools to realize all of this. So if you're interested in the whole story, this QR code has a beautiful video. And if you don't know how to do a screenshot on your PC, it's also okay to just take your phone and take a picture. It's fine for me. Whatever serves your goals. Another story you always tell is the one we have with Volkswagen, because we are working with them for a long time now. And the really interesting thing is that they grow huge. So they have a lot of brands within this Volkswagen group, and they want to train thousands of people. So what they already did is they like built a whole process, because they saw the need to automate a lot of these steps in the VR training application creation process. And for this, they saw, okay, we need a lot of standardization, because as you can see, they have more than 7 XR studios working for them and building trainings for hundreds to thousands of steps during a manufacturing process of a car, for example. Another example for that is like a smaller client. They are not so not smaller in terms of the business, but in terms of the VR readiness. Some business that just starts to evaluate the opportunities, but they also found at Aeroground Munich that this VR idea and this training in VR is of training of tasks in VR is really beneficial. Their trainees, their workers love to do it. And they also found, while having trained 500 people, okay, this is really cool, but the tools we have at the moment don't help us to really scale this and train everything we want in VR. And during our time as an agency, we found the same. We found a lot of businesses that were at the stage where they started to have their first VR training applications. They built their first POC and they tried it out. And mostly they go through the post process. And you can see the first step of this process here. And I will now talk you through the steps we usually encounter when building the first VR training application. And these steps you usually go through with every VR application you build. So usually you set up a scene. That means you collect a lot of 3D objects that you need, like an airplane, a runway, or whatever. And then you have a 3D scene, but it doesn't really do something. What you want to have is you want to train people there. So there's something happening that hasn't been happening in the past. You need to connect the people who train workers today and the developers who know how to build VR applications. But naturally, they don't speak the same language. So it's really difficult to moderate between them. In the third step, usually, you need to define the concept of your VR training application. Nothing is giving for free. Everything is new to our clients. They will build their first VR training application, and there will be months of discussion which button is used to grab something in virtual reality. So like here, there's like 6 buttons on this controller. Which button grabs an object? How do you define that? And again, this really cost time consuming to find this out and evaluate all of this. What's the right thing to do? And the fourth step is always like, okay, manage costs. What's the business value of a VR training application? How much will it cost to do it? As everything is like not standardized and it's a lot of manual work, there's a lot of project risk into this processes. And finally, we have sorted everything together for the project, and we have built our first prototype. And then it's like, okay, we need to iterate. We need to change this and that, and so on and so forth. This all takes a lot of time. And think about building 30 apps, or 100, or as our huge advanced clients think about thousands of applications to train their employees. You need standards to help with all of this. So what we did, we introduced the Innoactive Creator. We don't focus on the first step, how to get models into VR. There is a lot of solutions out there, like we work together with Pixies. We also have partners that help you to get your, for example, CAD data into VR and make it usable in VR. But we focus on the rest of the process because we didn't have tools at hand and there was nothing out there. So we started building it, and it's basically the Innoactive Creator. So how does the creator help? On a conceptual side, bringing the trainer and the developer together. Today, the trainers will have huge lists and build PowerPoints and Word documents to show a developer what they want to have. We said, okay, let's build an interface for trainers so the trainer actually can interact with the VR training application, the VR creation tool, in our case, Unity. And this visual interface is very simple to use. So build a workflow with some boxes, no coding required at all, and then connect the 3D world with the logic. So what does the trainee have to do in the VR training application? How do you steer him through? What kind of information do you want to give to him? So now the trainer is able to actually work on the VR project. The third thing was defining the concept. So when you start to work on this VR training applications, it's really, really hard to know what you want. So you iterate and iterate and iterate. You will create a lot of scripts, and you will play around with visual feedback. You will create some UI elements for the external person, that the trainer that wants to interact with the HMD user maybe. So what we said, okay, we need standard for that. So we say this is our template. Everything is packed into a template. And because we offer the creator, you can start exploring by building your first, second, and third training application. And as soon as your template is ready and it suits your needs, you just apply it to all the other applications you already built. You update them easily, just by copy pasting it into your old projects. So it makes it easy to handle VR training applications for you. Manage costs. Again, in the past, we had the question, okay, how do we convert 3D models and bring them into VR? Today we know, and it's easy to calculate, but how do we actually calculate the costs of a VR training application? As we have this template approach and we now have everything under control and we know what is there already, we can easily identify the gap if somebody approaches us and asks us to build a VR training application, either as an agency or as an internal solution provider for VR solutions. We can say, okay, what's your need? Okay, we already have this in our template. We can do this. So we only have to add ABC. In this case, it was a barcode reader, for example, that should read this label. And fifth, implement, review, iterate. As everything is already stored in this template approach and everything is standardized, the circles that you have to do are reduced. And further, by getting people on board that couldn't interact with these tools like Unity in the past, the trainers, subject matter experts who can contribute to the project actively, not just by giving input via huge Word documents, it's getting easier and cheaper to build these VR training applications. I have one more slide because that will be helpful to understand when we switch to the demo. Our concept is the following. So we have a base template that can be used by the trainer or the developer. This is the basic functionality. And the base template, we call it because this is what we already give to you. We'll come to that later. Then we have the role of a developer. The developer only jumps in if there's new functionality needed. So we don't waste developer resources on building VR training applications. The developer doesn't know anything about training applications or training workflows, but the trainer does. And hence we have another role, the trainer, who actually will build these workflows and integrate them into the VR world. Okay. So now we're coming to the live demo. I already prepared a little bit, so we don't have to see all the waiting time to see Unity loading all that stuff. It needs to set up a scene. What I already did, I created a project. So basically, it was just a project that contains the geometry. I added this project with this button to my Unity hub. And then I double-clicked the Unity hub to start it. It's already started, so we don't have to wait. I recommend you to use the Unity hub if you're not familiar with it yet. It just keeps you under control of your versions and to a multiple project that that you might run, and makes life just easier for you. So, but for now, we are interested in the project I opened. And this scene, you can see it's already containing some geometry. And basically, it comes from a real-world use case we have. It's from a collaboration with SAP. And actually, it's moving around in the virtual world in the 3D space and being able to interact with an SAP-based system on the screen. For now, for this demo, we have simplified it by just having one button to interact. But if you're interested into an actual SAP integration, please get in contact with us. We are in close collaboration with SAP, and we provide a solution for that. So now we only have geometry here. It's a picking task. So we will have to start the process. We will have to pick a gear, put it into a box, then pack the box, and then ship the box on this conveyor belt down here. But as I said, it's just geometry. There's no logic on it. To add the logic to this 3D geometry, we will add the Innoactive creator. And I will start loading this package to our scene. And the Unity package that we just loaded, it's some kind of a zip file. It's a very specialized zip file. It's very, very much tailored to the needs a Unity project has. And as you can see now, there's a lot of things that are not in the project, so they're all new. There might be things that you want to update, and it will tell you, okay, this is a new version. I will just press update, and while it's loading, I will show you where you can find this. So our main resource for you as a developer or as an evaluator or whatever is our developers portal. So developers.innoactive.de. Here you can find information about the creator, but also, of course, for about the portal that we mentioned earlier on this webinar. What we have here, if we go to the creator, we can see documentation. We can sign up. You will need an account to go to the releases page. On the releases page, I signed in with my Innoactive account. On the releases page, you will find the latest Innoactive creator release. In our case, version 2.7, which I simply downloaded. As you just have seen, I imported as an asset. You can see that there's also the Innoactive Creator free package. The Innoactive Creator in its core and its basic functionality is open source, so it's free for you to use. But of course, if you want to scale and you want to make use of some special features and functionalities that we offer to our enterprise clients, you might want to have a closer look on this creator version and subscribe for it with an annual fee. You can nevertheless download it and sign in for a 30 days trial. If you're interested into this 30 days trial, you can do it on your own, but you can also contact us and ask us for more information about this. Okay, but now let's get back to the import. Unity already opened some important windows for me. The first is the creator wizard. So as I said, the creator is thought to scale, make you faster, make your life easier. And here with this wizard, we already provide you with some tools that get you running faster, because you don't want to set up Unity, and setting up Unity for VR can be a pain because you have to go through a lot of steps. We automate that for you, and we will automate even more in the future. And you just avoid forgetting stuff and having mistakes and running into errors, which will slow you down by by facing a bug and then taking the time to identify it and fix it. I will simply name the course, the training course that I want to build, the workflow picking task, and I will take the current scene. It's up to you, whatever you need in your project. In the background, it now already opened some more windows, but I will stick to this one here. In our case, I will use an Oculus Rift. You can also use an HTC Vive with OpenVR, which will also support Oculus Rift, but as I'm using the Rift S later to show you what we've built, I will already set my training up for this. We have some information about collecting data. It's not personalized data. We can't track you, but still we will gain some data about your usage, which kind of creator or Unity version. You can always decline to do that, but we are happy if we can get some data to work with. And of course, at the end, you will get some important links on that will help you to start with the creator, or that will guide you through setting up the creator. Even if you're more experienced, you might have more questions. So wait until the setup is done. So in the background, again, there will be some further configurations. Some important packages will be downloaded, like in our case, the Unity XR package. As you can already see here, we have an XR rig added to the scene. So this is what we already have done for you. So if we have finished all of this, you will be able to start the scene and run it in VR. And it's already a training scene, so you can add some simple interaction with the VR for your trainee. And that's really nice to have. Oculus have some drawbacks that you can't automate, but as you can see here, we already opened the window for you. In the meantime, I will import another package, the TextMesh Pro. It's just very good for displaying text in VR. I will just simply click Oculus here because I want to use my Oculus headset. And it also said to me, okay, for this version, I have to enable the input handling to both. The default value would be one of these, but you don't have to worry about if you face some issues. Just change it to both, and everything should be fine. So project is set up. TMP is imported. We already have a workflow window opened over there, and that's basically it. We're good to go. So now we can build trainings, and I think that was really convenient and fast. I will now use this scene that I set up to again demonstrate to you what we envision, what could help you build trainings to a scale. So what makes we want to make you faster and therefore cheaper in producing VR training applications. The one thing we already have, everything is set up for VR. We are not going too deep into that right now. And we added a training configuration menu asset here, game object. And I want to open our course, the picking task. So I click here on Open Course and Workflow window. Our workflow window is already opened, and I will find this. And this is basically the first important window, because this is very, very simple to use, as I said in the beginning. It helps you to simply create steps, and this is just with mouse clicks, so everybody can do it and everybody can participate here. It gives me the possibility, this workflow editor window, to add chapters. So I can give my training application VR some structure by dividing into chapters. If I fulfill some certain requirements, I can also swap these chapters. Beware, that does not necessarily help or work all the time, as the creator has a so-called state machine. So when you run through the creator, you will see that later, and you run through multiple steps, you will see that the creator will actually do these actions that you define in these steps. So this makes it possible that you could, for example, start in chapter 3, because the creator will just simply run through chapter 1 and 2, and then you as a trainee can start in chapter 3, and the scene will be in a state that you actually can start from there. Okay. This is just to let you know that this is possible. We are not going to do that now. What I would like to do now is to show you how you make use of the creator. Here I already created a step. And the first thing I always like to do is I like to define the actual flow that I want to go through. Because currently I'm in the role of a trainer. I'm a subject matter expert. I know what people should do. I know the steps. Maybe I even have a description of those steps. And at the best, it's digital and standardized. Because, keep in mind, if it's digital and standardized, all the manual step creation process that we are currently going through wouldn't have to be done. We could automate it. We could simply write an importer from the standard description of the workflow for your task into this. So think about you have one standard machine and only variations of it, but there might be 1,000 variations of it. So you could simply create automatically this workflow for this 1,000 machines, because the process description might be standardized. And this is what makes it fast and easy, because you don't have to do it manually. So by clicking on this step here, this is one small increment of action during this process, basically the task maybe. It opens up the next important window. That's the step inspector. In the step inspector, I defined what should happen within this one step. So I have behaviors, I have transitions, and I have something we call unlocked objects. I will talk about these two the most. First, we will start with the behavior, because what I like to do is I like to include a so-called welcome step. The welcome step is really important to me, because you always should start with letting your user know what you're expecting from them. I further will add a behavior to this welcome step. A behavior basically is everything that you can see, hear, feel, I don't know, any kind of sense that helps you to understand what to do in the virtual world. Like, you can tell people what to do. You can show a display that has text that tells people what to do. You could highlight an object that, you know, it's glowing, and people know, okay, I need to interact with this object. We already have such functionality provided to you. That's what we call the base template. Till now, we saw the core of the creator, So this user interface in the background, it already saved this course. And now on top of this core, we have these behaviors and transitions, functionality, logic. And we give something to you that we call the base template. And the base template includes, for example, a highlight, something glows, and I know I need to interact with this, an simple enabling object, an object that shows up like a display, or in our case, a TTS system, text to speech. I can put in text and it will, render the speech and I can hear it, synthesize the speech and I can hear it. I show you this because it's important to understand that the base template is something we give to you that gets you started very quick. You can use this and already build a training that will fulfill maybe 90% of the things you need. But you will find during your work with the creator that you want to make your own template. That's what we were talking about in the when we were in the slide deck. You will have the need for customization, and we ask you to do that. We not only give you the possibility, we ask you to do that. The creator is tailored for this use case to make everything modular, so you can take out modules and you can get in modules. We will see that right now in this example. I will use the text-to-speech example, and it asks me for some input. And I said before, okay, we can make it modular. What does it mean? It means when I go to the Innoactive tab up here and I go to the settings pane, I can see there's a text-to-speech. And in here, we have different kind of speech providers. Google, Microsoft, Watson. We did this on purpose because with this, we can show you, hey, it doesn't matter. Text-to-speech is just a module. So please adapt it to your needs. If you have a contract with Amazon, use the Watson. If you need to have something offline, use the Microsoft. If you need something for better sound quality, use Google. So in our case, we'll just leave Google in here. We give you the possibility to adapt it to your needs. Take one module out, put another module in. And it's very easy to do because everything is modularized in the interface. You can do other stuff like here, like change the default language, changing from male to female, and save audio files to stream. This is really important if you want to run your training offline. Then it saves the audio to your project. You need to run the project in the Unity editor once, so it downloads all your audio files, but then it's saved locally. Just as a side note. Okay, modularization, very important to us. Second, we said standardize to scale. What we have as a key value pair, let's getting a little bit techy here, but I will still show you the file that looks like this. The good thing is that I can simply copy and paste this in here. Why is it something good and why does it help to scale? I will show you. Now I have all the description I need for my training that we will use in the next couple of minutes in English. But let's say I also want to have it in German. So I need any kind of translation service. I just put it in here, and now all I would have to do is I take the translation, copy it, and paste it in such a file that I call D. By doing so, I have it in the same training in 2 languages with just 10 seconds of work. And as all of these translation services also have an API, I could even automate that. So this is what makes us fast. And this is what makes it so interesting to us that's some of the functions we want to use or we want to offer or we ask you to build to scale. We want to create many trainings. Keep that in mind. Okay. So we have already done that. Here you can see some artifacts of this state machine. So that's a little bit techy again. This audio can play before the step execution. So basically, if you want to visualize it on this knot here on the left, you can play it after step execution. That would be the knot on the right. Or you could play it before and after. The same counts as for this is blocking. So if you think about the stage machine, there's like things happening one after another. And if you say is blocking, nothing happens before this intro isn't finished. So it will say, welcome, in this logistics training, you will learn how to package and ship gears. So nothing else is going to happen. But, add something else here. It's not happening before this is not finished. This is just to let you know as a basic. So that was step one. So now you have an idea of what a step is and how it works. Again, as I said, I usually like to start to build a structure. So in our case, we want to start the process first. I'm a subject matter expert virtually, so I know what's going to do. Then I have to grab the box. Then I have to place the box. Well, let's call it place box. Then I have to stick label to the box. Then I have to grab a gear. We will only do one to keep it simple. First, then it's just repetitive. Then we will have to grab the gear. Then we have to, of course, place the gear. Yes. Otherwise, we will walk around with the gear in our hand for the rest of our lives. Place gear. Then we will have to close the box. Grab lid. And then, of course, place lid. And then we have to grab the full box. And we will have to place full box. And then we will ship full box. So now we have the structure ready-made. I don't know if you already tried to build an actual VR training application. If you did so, you might know what I tell you. If not, let me tell you. Usually what people do at this stage is they will write Word documents, they will write PDF files, they will write PowerPoints, and so on and so forth. Just to describe all of the stuff we are right now doing. And then a developer will use all this information, needs to immerse him or herself into this description and then create it in Unity. With our workflow editor, as you can see right now, the subject matter expert simply can add value to this project by putting the workflow in here and by putting all the information already there. And the developer just has to redefine it and finish it and polish it. And this is already a huge gain in production speed. So let's go to the start process step. As I said, it's about this button here. We will now have to add a transition because you have to decide what conditions need to be met to move from this knot on this step to the next step. It's just logic. What you could also do, just to show you something like this, you could build alternative passes. So you would be interested in, like having two options to finish this chapter or to finish this training. You could build two different conditions here. That's just to let you know that this is also possible to build more complex workflows. We're not going to do this now, but please play around with this idea. There's a lot of things possible. For example, also looping. So I might do something like this. And only if like this is an error, then it says, please do it again. And then the user has to do it again. And until he is doing some or she is doing something correct, then he or she can go on with the process. But let's delete this. This is not important for now. That's we want to stick to the basics. And one of the basics now is to add one of these conditions. Again, we have here some functionality we give to you as a basics to start from, to learn from, especially if you're like a developer and you want to learn more about how to code in this creator framework, because we are definitely creating a framework, a standard there that helps you again to communicate between developers, because they can all refer to the same standard and you don't have to establish the coding standard from project to project. We give that to you. We give this base template to you to start from, but please adapt it. What we do now is we want to touch an object. It's the button on the screen. And what you can already see there, and it's something I like, is the validation system that comes with the creator. And this validation system gives you some information that there's something missing. I can see it on the step, I can see it on a transition, I can see it here. And it's very simple. It needs an object that can be touched. I didn't assign it. That's really, really helpful, because in the older days, if you're a Unity programmer, you know that, it won't show you that something is missing until you hit play. And this can cost a lot of time, especially if your scene is very big and Unity needs some time to load it. Here I can see it immediately. So all I need to do is I will take this start process button. I will drag and drop it here. And there's another security mechanism in the creator. So the creator sees, there's something missing. There's logic missing that makes it a training scene object or a VR object. So please fix it. I fix it, and now everything is done. Perfect. I will quickly check something, because this is one of the pitfalls we have in here. So it's basically, it's not a pitfall, it's a design decision. We don't go deep into that. I will give you a rule of thumb. If you look at a Unity object, there will be a lot of components on it. And one of these components is a rigid body. And the rigid body basically gives the physics to an object. And in our case, it is using gravity. That means this button will fall down. Doesn't make any sense. We remove it, button doesn't fall down. That's really important. It's just, your standard. What's your standard? If you always work with UIs, by default, your template, so the template, that was what we mean with customization, would not include this tick. But, that's your customization. If you only teach UIs, remove this tick by standard. Okay, now we have this, and there's another thing missing. We need a collider. And this collider needs to be triggered. So now this is an interactable object, because without this collider, we don't see when the user is touching this object, when it collides with it, and it will not send an event to the VR interaction system. So simply keep in mind that there needs to be a collider on it. Okay, so now we have done this, and we can go to the next step. Grabbing a box. Okay, so let's do it again. At behavior, we need some text to speech. We call it grab box. Then we need a transition, add condition, grab object, grabable object. Okay, it's missing. We'll take this box, we put it in here. We will say fix it. And yeah, that's basically it. We can see, okay, there's still something wrong. What's wrong here? The object box has no collider. Interesting. So what do? Add component. Box collider is still selected. That's good. And I add the collider, make a trigger, and I'm done. So I can go to the next step. The information that there's something missing disappears, so everything is fine in this step. And we go on. One thing I like to add here is a behavior that I would like to use as an highlight object. It's just nice because this box is in your back. So if you turn around and you see something purple glowing, then you will know, okay, there's something that I should take care of. It's just to steer the attention of the user. Now I need to place the box. And I already told you a lot about scaling, making things faster. So we also like to offer you tools that help you to get faster. Add behavior. Again. Place box. Transition, add condition. I will use and snap object. So we are going to the next step as soon as we snap our object into a snap zone. A snap zone, for the tech guys of you, is in Unity XR a socket. I use this whenever I want to position something very precisely. Because in VR often it's very hard to really put things together or place things anywhere so they look good at the end, or they like fit very well together. The snap zone will do that for you. You will see in a second. I will again take the box because that's the thing I want to place anywhere. And now it asks me for a snap zone. And let's have a look. Now inspector. So I click on the box and this is the inspector. For the non-techies, the inspector inspects an element. What can an element do? In this case, we will find something that we just added by clicking fix it. It's the create snap zone. And again, that's something that we add to Unity XR to make things simpler, because the socket system of Unity XR has some very, very important drawbacks that come from the pure simplicity they want to add. They want to be very general, and this is something like issues with having multiple meshes on an object, multiple materials, having multiple colliders, and so on and so forth. And we take care of that. So we create a snap zone, and this appears down here. And all I have to do now is I move it over here, and that's it. I'm done. Oh, no, I'm not done. I almost forget that, but luckily we have this exclamation mark. I will take the snap zone and, of course, put it in here. So now I'm done. Okay, pretty straightforward. I guess we don't have to talk more about this. Just to let you know, we not only have this for our template, not only this behavior and transitions count, it's also these small little features that make you faster in creating such a scenario. Now we need to stick the label. Okay, we need to stick a label, but before I can actually stick it anywhere, I have to print it. I forgot this step, but the good thing is, as the creator provides a standard and keeps you under control of this flow, and we take care that it will always work, you can simply add a step. And this is even wrong because, okay, I again change it a little bit. I want to add this, of course, after I press start, because pressing start is the trigger to print a label. Call it print label. Add in behavior, or like just to have some sound. And it's in the, well, some quick hint for you. You will always find some small search icons all over the interface of Unity, and you can simply print in there. Then we find here, there's my printer sound, and I can find it. I can simply put sounds into the resource path. So this is resources folders. There can be multiple. And this one is the folder sounds / and we want to have the printer sound. So now it will play sound while printing, but now we need to print something. Again, it's very easy. Of course, you can make it more complex and you can make it more advanced. But remember, I'm a training designer. I don't have any experience with Unity. I just want to, get to the point. I want to explain what somebody should do in VR. In this case, I will simply add a very simple transform animation. I will take this label. So this label here, fix it. And then I will copy paste this label. So Control Z, Control V. Because with this, I can simply define my target position. Label target. Here it's very well aligned. Be aware that this pivot, so this coordinate system of the object, can be changed. Now it's like the global coordinate system that counts for everything. And if I click on the local one, it's only the system of this label. And this is good for me because now I can simply move it along the label axis. This is my target position. So I move it to the final position provider position. I say, okay, it should take 2 seconds. And I'm done. Now it will move the label up there. Of course, I don't need the target position. I just deactivate. You could also delete such a label model, so this mesh, so you cannot see it anymore, because we only need a position, and we will move this target. I like to keep it in the background in case I need to change something later and then just want to have the little reference. Okay, so we learned how to do an animation and add some sound to it. And we just integrated this into our process without any issue. Okay. Place box, we did that. Stick label. I will just do a little faster now, just to show you how fast it actually goes. I think the very basics should be clear now. There will be some smaller things that we will learn in the next couple of clicks and actions, but nothing dramatic. So now stick label, I need to, again, I forgot something, add step. First, before sticking the label, I have to grab the label. Of course, you could put the two-transition grab and snap both into the same step, but then it's a little bit more difficult to play the correct audio file at the correct moment. Grab label, transition, add condition, grab object. We want to have our label. There's functionality again missing. We want to snap the label into label, create snap zone into this label snap zone. Now here is something that is a little bit more interesting. Be aware that this box is the element that you carry around, and we need to add this label to this box because the label position is a child of the box. So this is how Unity works. So everything that's underneath the box will move around with the box. That's basically it. So what I do here now is simply use this transform, set the translation to 0. And rotate it around Y by 90. And then rotate it around X by minus 90. So I hope this is now forward facing. You can use this gizmo up here to, align your view a little bit better. So this looks like it's too far away. Yeah, it is too far away. Move it a little closer. You can press F. That will focus on the object. I guess for me, that's just fine right now. So now we have the label here. What you could also check if you want to have some more control about the direction. I will click on the other element. Okay, Y is forward facing. And so same is here. So now we know everything is correct. Perfect. So we will stick the label on this side of the box. Then we have to add another grab here. We have to add a behavior, audio, text to speech, place here. We need to add a condition. We will simply use this one. Don't make it too overly complicated for now. Add condition, snap object to snap is the small gear. We already know, okay, it has, oh no, it hasn't. Let's fix it. We create the snap zone. The snap zone is here. Again, this should be placed in that box. So we move it into the box and then go to the hierarchy and move it under the box. So now it's a child of the box and will be carried around with the box. Then we have some exclamation marks here, and this says no collider. Again, has a collider. Trigger. That's interesting. Snow collider, that's interesting. We will remove that and add a new collider. Let's see what happens. Okay, grab lid. So we need this object. Add behavior, audio, play text to speech. We will grab the lid. No, default text, we need it here. Transition, add condition, grab object, take the cover, put it in here, fix it again, check the rigid body, use gravity and is kinematic. So here it's important again, because we want to move this around, it needs to be kinematic. So you can actually move it. If it's not kinematic, you will not be able to move it. So be aware to tick this box. Then we want to place lid, audio, text to speech, place lid, the cover. We add another condition, again a snap object. The object again that we want to snap is the cover. We need this node to snap into. We already learned that it's up here. That's why I like to align these two tabs just above each other, because it just makes me faster and going back and forth. We use the cover snap zone. I will move it around. I will again reset the transform and move it down a little bit more. A bit to this side, a little bit to that side, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of sugar and honey, and we are done. So we have the snap zone here. We have to make this also a child of the box. Very simple. Then we have to grab the full box, audio, text to speech, text to speech. My mouth is getting dry, but we are finished soon. Add condition grab object, and now there's something you need to be aware of. How Unity works. I already told you, if you make something a child of something else, so this is a parent, we call it, and this is a child, I can move the box around, and you see all the things, all the zones, snap zones I attach to it will move with it. But be aware that you will run into issues when you're being on play mode, because then Unity, you have to tell Unity how it will place this lid, and it will not make it a child of this box by default. If you're interested into that, we can provide you with some additional script. For now, it will not do so. Hence, we need to work around this a little bit. So what I will do is I will create a full box. Copy paste. Full. I will take this full box and move it to exactly this position. So how do I do this without running into issues? I have to bring it to the root in this hierarchy. So this sounds all a little bit complicated, but again, no parent child, it will take all the transforms, blah, blah, blah. So if you're on the root, it can't take any other transform. So I can copy paste any transform I want. And that's what I'm doing now. I want to have it exactly here at this position. So I copy these components of this snap zone because I want the box to be there. Then I use my full box and I say, okay, paste component values. And then then it's where it should be. That's really nice. And further, I need a copy of this cover. I will place this cover on the very root. I will take the cover of the snap zone. Also places on the root. Copy component. Paste component values. And it's on the right condition. We don't actually need this. I will make this a child of this box. And that's basically it. What I do now is like I fake a little bit. To be honest, it's faking a little bit. But whatever suits you neat and makes you fast. This box I will see after the step. So what I do here is I will use my behaviors. I will simply add an enable behavior, and it should enable this box. What I also will have to do is I will have to disable the old box. And I will have to disable all its childs, because in our implementation, we don't disable the childs. The elements, that we snapped. We just snapped like the gear. Otherwise, they will stick on the table and just be there, and I will only carry around the box. That looks stupid, but you will find this on your way. And if this is not what you want, again, design it to your needs. The last thing is the label, and we are done. And then I will place the full. Oh, we didn't grab. No, we grabbed it. Add condition snap object. We will place the full box. Box full. Box full. We place it, and the place where we want to snap it. Put it. What? I didn't select the wrong object. Box full. Create snap zone. Now it's better. Box full snap zone. I will move it here. And I will show you one more thing that's really important to know. If you look here, we have a so-called training scene object validation system. This snap zone will only accept the box full. And it's really handy because otherwise you could just put any element in any kind of snap zone. You can even expand this if you want to say, okay, there's 3 different things I want to be able to snap in here, and then you drag and drop these objects in here that you want to enable to snap into to be valid for the snap zone. We don't want to, we only want to have the full box. Again, I forgot to add the snap zone here. And then we need to ship the full box, and this is just move behavior. So we add a behavior, so saying thank you and goodbye. It was really nice to have you here. Called outro. In our case, I will add the condition. Move object into glider. We need another move behavior, move object, and it's the box full we need to move. The final position provider will take the snap zone, move it over here, remove the components because we don't need it. It's the target position 5. And what we also need is we need confetti, because a training without confetti to have some party at the end is no training. So we will use this box full as a position provider, and basically that's it. So there's still these issues here I can't really explain because we have a collider on this object, on this gear. No, there's not. Okay, interesting. Add component. Let's add a collider. And the zone to snap into. The object gear small snap zone requires all. Okay, let's have a look. Gear small snap zone. Oh, it's not a trigger. Ha! Okay, thanks validation system. So if everything works out, I will now simply add my headset and press play. So I turned on the video stream so you can actually see how I do that. Doesn't mess up the recording for you, but it should not. Plug it in. I have my controller here. One controller should be enough. One thing I have to do is, because we didn't define a teleport area yet, I will move this around a little bit. So I will spawn right here. And we now just have to wait for Oculus to boot. Oculus is loading. Let's see what happens. Did I forget something? Did I miss something? It's always, the first run is always a very, very, very special moment. Okay, so at least, you see everything is set up to work with VR. That's something good. What you can also see here, I will maximize this a little bit that you can see better, is that you could choose a language here if you have different multiple language files. You could implement some features that you need, and this is already part of our template that we'll give to you. So here you could do something like one mode that is the trainee getting all information, like audio and visual, and one mode where you want to test the trainee, and there's no information given. So really, really simple to do. I cannot hear sound. I don't know if you can hear sound. Actually, there should be sound. Doesn't matter. We started the process. So the first thing we have to do is we have to click Start Process, and the label gets printed. So now I have to grab the box, but it looks like the box is not there. So I assume there's something wrong, and I think I know what it is. I will go here, I will click onto the box, I will check my rigid body, and I can see it's only gravity. It should be a kinematic so it doesn't fall down. Perfect, problem solved. So let's play it again. Let's see if we can get through this training. I press Start Process. I can start the process. The label gets printed. There is the box. I will grab the box. There is the snap zone. I put it into the snap zone. Now I have to grab the label. It will show me the label to put there. And the gear also fall down because I forgot it. But you can see that's basically what you have to do to create a training. And now you, of course, need to polish it and fix some things that you have just seen. Mostly you will find it's always the same errors you do. I would demonstrate you two more things. The first thing is we are constantly getting asked, okay, can we reuse these workflows? And the good thing is yes, and it's very, very fast to do. So I will quickly show it to you. To sum everything up and to, again, go back to this workflow idea and the scaling idea. And I will do so by going to a new scene that I created. It's an abstract scene, I call it. So you can see here, the basic elements are the same. There's a desk, there's a screen, there's a button, there's a conveyor belt. Now I want to have our workflow in here. So what I need to do is I need to find our workflow. That's the wrong one. This one. I will copy paste it. I will simply use this name. I could give it another name. Rename it. So this JSON file contains all the information of our workflow, all the objects that are in there. And all I have to do now is select it here. It already appears. It's opened. And you can see, okay, there's some exclamation marks. That's some errors I need to solve. That's all I have to do. Very, very, very simple. We are done. Now we can just manually add these objects. Another thing that I add to this tutorial is we are asked very often about the issue with the teleport. Creating a teleport actually is very easy. So we go to our floor and we will add a teleport area. It's really, really convenient if you can teleport around. We will change the layer to XR teleport, and we will add a box collider to it. That's all I have to do. If I press play now, and I put on my headset again, you can see I'm now in VR and I actually can move around, which makes things a lot easier. This was just an additional information. It doesn't add anything to the creator, but there's something really, really important handed to you. So I would like to give it to you to end this creator demo session. And now we will go back to the slides. So we now have the important localization files added to the scene. So here there's the localization files that give us the sound. And if we now hit play, we will be able to run the training application and actually hear some sound. So wait 1 second. Now we're in here.
Welcome. In this logistics training, you will learn how to package and ship gears.
Hear the sound. We can teleport, so it's a little bit more comfortable. I still have to be a little bit careful in my small room.
Next, grab the highlighted box behind you. Do so by touching it and keeping the grab button pressed. Place the box on the table in front of you. Use the highlighted zone to place it on the correct position. Grab underscore label. Attach the label on the right side of the box.
I will attach it to the box.
Grab the other gear from the container. Place the gear in the box in front of you. Close the box with a lid, which you can find on the shelf above you. Grab it. Close the box with the lid. The packaged box must be sent to the next process step. First, grab it.
Has no gravity. But to make it simpler, I will show you something. Again, what you can make use of for this, what you can make use of the state machine. Rigid body, kinematic, so it doesn't fall down. We press play again. And you already have seen this interface for the external user. What we ship with our base template, so like a trainer standing next by. And now we might want to test a certain step in the training.
In this logistics
and in
training,
our case,
next place the box on the grab underscore label.
Step forward and
attach the label on the right. Grab the other gear from the container.
Now it's there.
Place the gear in the box and close the box with a lid, which you can find on the shelf. Close the box with the lid.
We can jump through this training by ease.
The packaged box must be sent to the next process step.
Now we can grab the box. It's not falling down anymore. Then there's
congratulations, you successfully finished the packaging process training.
It moved, and we are done. So you have also seen some debugging from my side, but as you can see, it's very easy and very simple. It's smaller mistakes that just happen through such a process, but it's really, really easy to handle.